Today I'm going to show you how that you can gather a sleeve instead of shirring. You can use elastic to gather that edge. Now I already marked the line where that stitching would be on my sleeve, and this time instead of doing it on the outside like when we shear, we're going to be doing it on the inside. So I marked my line on the inside of the sleeve. I also cut the elastic the length that you want it to go around their arm. I use the short sleeve length and it usually works out good. It's a little lower down your arm, but it's a good comfortable measurement. So what we'll do is we're going to start with it right at the edge, and first we'll go ahead and stitch that in place. I usually go back and forth a few times just to make sure it's secure. And then what we'll do is as we sew, we stretch this piece of elastic out until it reaches to the very end of our sleeve. So you can see it's not nearly as long as the sleeve is, but we're going to stretch it as we sew. So I actually pull way back on that, and that's why I like to do this before I assemble the sleeve all the way. It's just a lot easier to do when it's straight. So now as we do this, I have to kind of pull back here to help the fabric feed through this first little bit. Otherwise you're pulling against your feed dogs and you don't want to do that. So then as we go, we just, as we sew, I like to do a straight stitch. You can do a zigzag. I think a lot of people do a zigzag, but I like how a straight stitch looks better on the outside. So we continue going the full length of the sleeve, and every once in a while I go back and make sure that it is lined up just right. Now this is a women's size sleeve, so it's quite a ways to go across. And you can see as I get toward the end, I didn't sew very straight, but as I get toward the end, I just make sure I'm going to end up right here at that edge. And again, back stitch a couple times just to make sure it's nice and secure. And that really only needs to hold until you have your sleeve put together, because then your seam will also hold it in place. So if you take a look at this, it went ahead and gathered that as we stretched our elastic and got it to the exact width that we wanted it. And then on the back side, you have the nice stretch just as if you had sheared it. And I really like this. It can speed up, and I also do it when I run out of my elastic thread, and some people just prefer it that way. So there's another way. And then we'll go ahead and construct our bodice as before, and once we get that all sewn down, then it will just be a nice sleeve on the outside. And that is how you can gather using elastic.
Hi, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe.